that goes by. People always ask me why black holes. Listen up, baby girl, shit, I'm about to let you know why I always got a black holes. Whoa, 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 whoa. They talking shit up in my comments. Yeah, they don't know, but I'm about to block them. Cause every day, I block holes. They be being shady, yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. Cause you know I block holes, baby. In different area codes, baby. You never know, but I block.
Hey y'all, happy Easter. What is up, everybody? Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for being tuned in on this good old Easter Sunday. Oh, y'all, I say let me do a quick one because I was supposed to drop a video yesterday, but I was so busy ripping and running trying to get last minute stuff for me and my baby's trip, right? This is his birthday trip. Y'all nephew, the overachiever. He will be 17 on the 23rd. So this is his birthday trip, but it's also my trip. Okay. But I was busy yesterday, y'all. And then we had company, so I couldn't finish my video, but I'm gonna work on it while we're headed to the airport to try to drop it later. But I did want to try to get a live in because I won't be able to go live while I'm on vacation. I could, but I ain't, right? Because I'm on vacation. Anyway, shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for being tuned in. Thank y'all for y'all patience. Um, we're gonna talk about a few little things, a little quick dialogue about everything that's going on or whatever. Just a little quick one too, y'all. But let me see who we got in here before we get started. Hey, Miss Love Mail, Bianca Fair Creations, Miss Michelle Hodges, Miss Denise, Nita M, Miss Jeanette, Renita, my bro Terry, of course, coming through with the copyright and fair use. We got Miss Geraldine, Miss Angela, we got Miss Kathy, we got Miss France in the building, Queen Rona, Latte, we got Malibu Genies, Miss Simone, You Changed Me, Miss Geneva. Who else? Let me see. Miss Angela B, Michaela, Miss Kelly in the building. She done fell out the bushes. Shout out to you. We got Miss Flo B, God's Child D in the building. Y'all see it's Booger Gates. This who y'all defending? Like, make it, child. The crazy part is he did that on live stream while he was messing with food. That's what make it even worse. And if you are that, you a different type of beast to dig in your nose and pluck a booger while you're on live stream messing with food. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say, child. Hey Monet, hey Sierra, hey LaShawn, hey Miss Cynthia, hey Miss Ashley, Miss Nina, J Chopper Style in the building. We got hold up, Miss Rochelle. We got your oldest will be 17 on Tuesday. Okay. And my baby is gonna be 17 on Wednesday. Yep. His 17th birthday, y'all. He's so excited. He deserves it though, because that's the one I tell y'all that literally is an overachiever when it comes to school. Straight A's, like so many colleges been reaching out for him. He did extremely well on his ACT for the first try, but he's going to take it again this summer to get even higher. But he did make a 24 on it the first try. So he's going to take it again though, because I said you got to get a little bit higher, baby. You got to get a little bit higher. Let me see. Hey, Miss Tangela. What's up, my sister? Hey, Talisa, a new touch nail and beauty bar. Snooki. We got Miss Tracy, Miss Angelique. Thank you, Miss Nina. I'm gonna tell them y'all say happy birthday. Miss Mary Flowers. I love you more, Miss Angelique. Hey, Freddie. You said he did it on purpose. Boogers. And that's not the first time he didn't got caught with his finger in his nose. Okay, that's what make it even worse. Like he is too comfortable doing that. Lil Mel said they want folks to keep talking about them. That's why they are doing all these shenanigans. Child, everybody's focused. Okay. Hey, my Karen, love you. Hey, Miss Mary. Hey, Miss Lisa. Thank you, Jay Chopper. Thank you, Miss Angelique. And thank you to the ones that sent Penny cash apps while I wasn't live for his birthday. He really, really appreciates it. I'm gonna make him make a post, y'all. I'm gonna make him make a post. Let me see. Hold on, my phone going crazy. It never fails, y'all. Anytime I get on live, baby, that phone start going crazy. But it be dry in the desert when I ain't live, y'all. Anyways, y'all. So, like y'all, as y'all can see, the thumbnail and the caption, when the foundation is not built on truth, the narratives keep changing. And the reason why I put that as the caption is because for the most part, everything that with all of these different narratives that's going on, that people, certain people are outraged about, all of this, we have to keep in mind that all of this was built on a lie. And one thing about when you tell a lie, if your foundation is not built on the truth, the narrative's going to continuously keep changing. For instance, we had RH's oldest daughter who came out here day before yesterday, gave a story time stating that, she wasn't trying to bash her dad or whatever. And she just wanted to tell her story because another CC had kind of spoke on it or whatever. But here's the thing, and you got people, because I had a few people in my comments that was saying, well, Pop, because I made a post, right, on my community wall. And I had a few people in my comments saying, well, Pop, she said she wasn't bashing her dad. But here's the thing. That young lady is very intelligent. Make sure y'all go check out my sis Chatty's live stream that she did. I shared it to my community wall because she gave some words, baby. Like she really, really broke it down and put it on the floor when it comes to this situation. So make sure y'all go watch that. But when it comes to this, we know that we're not dealing with a dummy, right? That young lady is very intelligent. She's very well aware of everything that's going on, seeing as how she's been in the midst of it since the beginning. And we all know who involved her in this situation in the first place, right? So she's very aware of everything that's going on. So to say that you're not bashing when you can clearly see that your dad has a target on his back, as it is, it's a lot of women out here that are maliciously going after him. So to come out and regurgitate a inconsistent story that was already put out is crazy. Crazy. That conversation could have been had between her and her dad. We didn't see where she didn't went with him shopping. He took her and and the grandbaby shopping. That was a time for the conversation. They was alone. He took her driving, helping her practice to learn how to drive. That conversation could have been had then. He took her to see her grandfather on his side. That conversation could have been had then. I will never agree with people bringing their personal family business to the internet. Point blank, period. I will never agree with that. Because how is that beneficial? How is that healthy? And how is that helpful? A therapist is needed, not social media. Okay? So when people get on here and they say, oh, this is her story, y'all this and y'all that, and this is a child, children shouldn't be coming to the internet with that type of information in the first place. If it's all that, why not call your dad and express to him how you feel? What can the internet do for anybody? What can the internet do? How can the internet help in those type of situations? I'm not understanding, y'all. So the people that's promoting and enabling that, they are just as crazy because you can't tell me that you would be okay with your child coming to the internet and putting something like that out about you. Let me know. If you cool with it, then hey, I ain't got nothing to say. But we know that a lot of people lying when they say, oh, let her tell her story. Da, 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 da. Put yourself in them shoes. How would you feel if that was your child? Because that's the ultimate betrayal. Especially seeing as how we didn't see text message proof where the mother did 10 times worse. But we silent on that though. We ain't got nothing to say about, the whole situation with the dragon while pregnant. We ain't got nothing to say about that. That ain't a bruise, baby, right? Because it came from the mother. Y'all better miss me with that BS. Because listen, child bye. Anyways, y'all, let me give my disclaimer. If y'all would like to donate to me monetarily, you can cash at me $sign Lupac1. You can also buy me a coffee. Shout out to all my coffee people. It ain't many of y'all, but I am appreciative of the ones that do donate to that app. Um, you can also support the platform by getting a super chat or a super sticker. I do have a goal set. It is not mandatory, but it is greatly appreciated as it contributes to the revenue of this particular live stream. So big shout out to the ones who do support the goal. If you cannot support the goal, please just hit the like button. Keep me in the algorithm, especially seeing as how I'm gonna be gone for a few days, y'all. So make sure y'all run them lights up so we don't fall at the bottom, child. Shout out to all my members, days 1, 2s, and 3s. I love y'all long time and big. Okay. I will do a members only live when I get back from my trip, y'all. Because I want to break down the live stream that Little Miss DW did when she initially came out in 2022. And we're going to compare it to the one she did the other day, right? Because there's so many inconsistencies involving that story. And that's what I mean when I say if the foundation is not built on truth, the narratives keep changing. Now, I'm not saying that she didn't get disciplined, get an A whipping. I'm not saying that. But what we are saying is the story is very inconsistent to the initial story that she gave herself in 2022. It's a big difference. It's a big difference, y'all. Pay attention. And this is why sometimes it's not good to come out publicly because everything that's put on the internet stays on the internet. Stays on the internet. Okay? Listen. And y'all know one thing about Pac, I'm going to break it all the way down. All the way down. Especially when it comes to receipts. Especially when it comes to receipts. So we will be doing that when I get back. We're going to point out the inconsistencies because I remember very clearly, if y'all remember, Dawn, shout out to Auntie Dawn, the big one, not the little. Shout out to Dawn. She did a live stream a couple months back, y'all. And it was where, people were bringing up that situation with the daughter or whatever. And Dawn brought out the receipts showing the alleged, how they were saying that skin was coming off and, it was bleeding and this and that, right? So Dawn brought out the receipts to show, hey, this is the receipt that was sent to me. And it didn't have none of that. And it was on the upper thigh, right? So when you listen to the storyline that's presented now, present day, she speaks of her arm. So I'm confused. Was it the arm or the thigh? And it was also a part where she stated that she went to school and somebody seen the bruise or something like that. So if y'all remember when Dawn brought that information out, people were outraged saying that Dawn was showing the little girl's body parts and this and that. She needed to apologize and all of that, right? So here's the thing. If it was an outrage about Dawn showing too much of the little girl's skin on social media, I would assume that that would be an area that would be covered up if we go into school, right? So I'm confused, y'all. How is it that someone was able to see webs on her when she went to school if it was in an area that will be fully closed? Because it was outrage, right? You had people saying it was child PORN and all of that when Dawn showed that picture. Somebody help me out. I'm a little confused. I am a little confused because it was a big, big outrage when that was told on the internet when Dawn showed the picture, which you couldn't even see nothing because it was cropped. So all you can see was her upper thigh area. That's all you could see. So and it showed two webs, and I'm trying to figure out where was the skin falling off and all of that. I'm confused, y'all. I am confused, baby. But we're gonna break it down. When Pat come back from vacation, we're gonna break it all the way down and we're gonna compare. Because here's the thing. It don't matter if it's a child or an adult at this point. When you constantly come and bringing things to the internet, people are going to talk about it. You don't get cut slack. You know how they like to cut slack when it's kids or they'll sweep something under the rug. But when it's constantly being done, you best believe people are going to talk about it. And this is where a parent is supposed to step in. Foot meat You are her mother. If you don't want people coming at her, you don't want people addressing her, you shouldn't be allowing her to come out here and address adults. Because regardless of she felt how she felt about that content creator who was talking on the story, she was addressing an adult, right? But an adult can't address a child. You need to keep her off the internet. Because now look what's happening. Look what's happening. You got multiple people that's speaking on this situation because it was brought to the internet. You can't say, oh, a child is a child. A child is supposed to stay in a child's place also. Period. I'm confused because it was a whole lot of emotion going on in that live stream with that story time, but we didn't see none of that when RH posted the video of them shopping in Walmart for clothes and Pampers and this and that. We didn't see none of that. We didn't see none of that when it was a driving lesson. We didn't see none of that when they was visiting Great Papa on this side, on Dad's side. We didn't see none of that. We didn't see none of that. When money was being sent via Cash App. My thing is, growing up, I resented my dad for a lot of stuff because, baby, we caught a whole lot of A whippings. It was a lot that went on in the household. Not what y'all thinking, but as far as getting our behinds tore up, yes. It was stuff that we witnessed as far as a Bruce when it came to our mother. But guess what? I never once came to the internet about it. Even though, it wasn't the same how it is now. We didn't have that type of access, but still in all. Make it make sense. Like, I just don't understand it, child. I don't understand people being so just so impulsive, just wanting to come and then want to cry wolf when people getting on your ass. I don't get it. People speaking on what you putting out here. If you ain't putting your business out here, it ain't nothing to talk about. It ain't nothing to talk about. Like, child. Thank you, Lakeith. Thank you for your support, my love. I think Pratt sent me one too. Thank you, Brother Pratt. I appreciate your support. Hey to everybody that's coming in. Shout out to y'all. Please, y'all, please hit that like button. Keep me in this algorithm because I am going on vacation. I'm leaving later on today. So y'all, please run them likes up, child, because I will not be live while I'm on vacation. Thank you, Miss Nina. You say, Lupa, continue to bring them receipts and let them know to stop lying and tell the truth because the truth always will be revealed. I love it here. Thank you, Miss Nina. I appreciate you, my girl. Y'all, I just don't get it. Like, that's not cool. And people enabling it, or y'all, it's way worse things that when you look at, okay, take for instance the Nazaya situation. You got Kamani Latif, all of these situations where fathers, look at the turnout. Look at the turnout. Look at those situations and look at it sounds when you look at that situation, those situations compared to this, it's like a spoiled, bratty child that caught her first butt whipping and now she in her feelings. That's what it's given. That's what it's given. I could see if it was involved in some type of actual abuse or anything like that. Now that's different. But we all know when it came to that storyline, that happened 3 months. Right? No, that happened 3 months before the DV situation, and it was people that was called, and all of that, y'all. It's a lot of moving parts when it comes to that. So it's bringing forth a lot of confusion. Like, why now? Why now? Because when I look at it, it's like, okay, I want to, I'm gonna put my own story out here. That's what was said. I'm gonna tell my own story because that lady over there is speaking on my story. Da, 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 right? But you already told your story back in 2022. You told it back then, and there was a lot of people questioning the story then. I remember it vividly because I've been in the saga since the beginning. I remember when she first came out, you could tell that she was being coached. You could tell it was manipulation involved because here's the thing. If you coming out here to tell your story, right? Why you go from telling your story then saying, "Oh, I love my dad. Oh, but he's a liar. All he do is lie." I believe you go from saying, And I know he did this to Laonia because I was knocking on the door. So I know he did this. I believe my mom and I believe Laonia when they say he did this because he be lying. Make it make sense to saying, oh, and my auntie need to mind her business because she has no room speaking on Laonia's mother and this and that. I'm like, what is going on here? How are you a child that's supposed to be given an account of what happened to you? How you go from what happened to you to in defense mode of somebody who's not even really related to you going against your own family? That story took a total different turn. And that's when people started saying, what is going on here? How we go from this to this? How we go from, oh, he did, my dad did this, he did that too. They need to leave Laonia alone. They need to leave her alone because I believe her. And you know, when she said my dad be lying, I believe it. I believe it. And if y'all remember, I have the receipts where the receipts between Laonia and that child, because I even did a video on it. I think it was a members only video where you can see the clear manipulation of Laonia telling that child, talking to her as if she's a grown woman discussing her dad. Anytime you in your emotions, you in your feelings, and you having marital problems, but you discussing your marital problems and comparing your issues with his teenage daughter, especially when she's favoring you, it's gonna be a lot of manipulation. It's gonna be a lot of side going on. She sided with you because you were giving her things. You were buying her things. But what the part that I don't understand is, I don't know if a lot of y'all know this, but it was Laonia who even planted the seed in the first place, because it was messages that were also shared where she didn't like the fact that RH would coddle his child, that he didn't discipline her, that he didn't fuss at her. She didn't like that. She planted that seed. She was the one going through that child's phone and seeing certain things in that phone and bringing it back to her dad. That's how that day happened in the first place. It was because of her going through the phone. They don't want to tell y'all that though. It was because of Laonia going through that child phone, seeing some stuff while we say it ain't had nothing to do with boys, and bringing it back to her father because she felt like he viewed her as his little princess, but he wasn't seeing what was going on in that phone. Little princesses shouldn't be doing this and talking about this, right? That's what led to that A whipping that day. And also that whole mall situation and wanting to go to the mall with a 20-year-old and the little sister and all of that, child. She be in her inbox on the low because she didn't even wish happy birthday. I wouldn't be surprised. The conversation was cut off, but I wouldn't be surprised if they ain't back talking. It's just mind boggling. Like, I think a lot of people didn't forgot. Thank you, Miss Tangela, for your support, my love. Speak on it, sis. At this point, it's like, at what point do we stop? Oh, she's just a child. A child shouldn't be coming to the internet with adult business. They shouldn't. If her mom felt like she need to stay in a child's, oh, she just a child. Y'all shouldn't be addressing a child. A child shouldn't be coming on the internet talking this type of talk either. Now, I'm not saying, I'm not trying to take away from her feelings and say, oh, you know, because here's the thing. For the most part, we know girls are normally daddy's girls, right? So anytime you have a situation where you have never been disciplined by your father, it's going to be a lot of outrage. It's going to be some feelings hurt because you're not used to that. You're not used to that. But did it deserve to come to the internet? No. Because if it was all of that, why didn't, if y'all remember, Laonia did a live stream, and I cannot stress this enough, where when that situation took place, she herself came to the internet and said that she caught a whipping. She was being disrespectful, she was talking back, and she caught a whipping. It was Foot Me also did a live stream stating that the day that happened, I even did a video, and I'm gonna run that video back. I gotta find it, y'all, because for some reason I can't find it on my YouTube, but I'm gonna look through my CapCut because I did a video showing where Foot Meat was being inconsistent with telling that story. One minute she say she didn't know what was going on. The next minute she say Laonya told her everything was good. And the next minute she say da 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 da. But she was on the phone the day that stuff happened. So if you felt like your daughter was a bruise, you would have been on the phone with 911, baby. That's the part that I don't understand. It's so many people outraged and y'all picking and choosing who y'all want to be mad at. But if y'all felt like something really went on that day, why aren't these two women blamed also? If it was considered a bruise, why we just mad at the daddy? Why we not mad at the mama and the stepmama? Because it's three parties that are involved in this situation. If they felt like it was wrong, something would have been done the day that it happened, not 3 to 6 months later, or not 3 years later. If it's wrong, period. We ain't gonna wait till we fall out with this man and we trying to come up on the internet and trying to have financial gain to want to be outraged about this situation. It don't work like that. And that's why her protective order didn't work the first time she did it. Because you want to wait till after the marriage is over with to try to get a protective order on some ish that happened months prior in your marriage. And the judge say, Because if you was that outraged about it, why you didn't come to me when it happened? Why you want to bring some old stuff to the courtroom and try to get a protective order from it when you stayed with your husband even after it happened? Y'all got to make it make sense. You don't even need a top of the line common sense for this type of stuff. You just need a little bit of logic and a little bit of common sense. Anytime somebody bring you something that's old and they didn't have no outrage about it when it happened, you need to be questioning it. Don't just sweep certain contexts under the rug because you favoring one person over the other. That's not cool. That's not cool. Because guess what? You could still call out right or wrong and still not like a person. That's wrong, and I still don't give a F about that person. Two things can be done at one time, especially when you're an adult and have some sort of level of maturity. Because a lot of this is childish behavior. Oh, I don't like that person, so I'm gonna sweep it under the rug that they were done wrong. What? Make it make sense. But we gonna definitely break those videos down when I come back. You best believe it. Wait, let's see. Okay. Thank you, my Karen, for that Cash App blessing, and thank you, Miss Mary, for that birthday blessing for my boy. I appreciate you. I'm gonna make sure I give it to him, and I'm gonna tell him to when I come back live, y'all, I'm gonna make him come on and thank everybody for sending him those blessings. And shout out to everybody that's coming in, y'all. Please hit the like button. Run up the likes for your girl. She's about to be 18, so they need to get ready to see her no longer being spared. It's just the timing of the questionable of this that's questionable. It only came out because Laonya used it to push the DV line. And here's the thing, y'all. But let me tell you how God works. When you doing malicious, vindictive things, right? If you notice, if you listen to her live that the daughter did, in the midst of the live, she kept saying, I love my dad. Because when you start getting overwhelmed with emotions and God is tapping on you and tapping on you because what you're doing is not right, he gonna make you say certain things so people can see what's going on. I love my dad. I'm not bashing my dad. In the midst of you putting out something that's bashing him, that's clearly going to give people something to run with. It's easy to say something, but other people are seeing something totally different. Or I'm not bashing him, but I'm gonna bring back a story time that I told in 2022 with more what's the word I want to use? Let's just say more details, more vivid details. If y'all notice, it's very, very detailed this time. But in 2022, it was a big difference. It was more in 2022 when the story time was told. It was more so focused on LaOnya. This is my story time, but let me tell y'all need to leave her alone. Let me tell y'all why I believe her. Because people tend to believe a child, right? They gonna believe, oh, y'all, the saying, kids don't lie. So what better to do than to send a child out here? Send a child out here to give a story time with some crocodile tears because everybody gonna believe it. Kids don't lie. But it didn't happen like that because if you notice, like I said, y'all, when that story was initially gave in 2022, baby, when I tell you the bloggers was on it was a lot of people that did not believe it because of the way it was told. And you can clearly see somebody kept coming in and out that room where she couldn't even focus on the camera. She kept looking away because somebody kept coming in and out that room. Make it make sense. And I'm going to put out them same messages for y'all where it was conversations between the ex and the child discussing everything. Why are we having conversations with this man's daughter about what we endured and trying to compare it? Of course she's going to be altered with her thinking when it comes to her father because she loves you. This is where you don't involve a child. Regardless of what she had with her dad, whatever experience she had with her dad, you should have never interjected yourself into that and influenced her thought process when it comes to her daddy, period. Because the receipt is still out there where DW posted on her TikTok a meme showing where somebody walked past somebody down the hallway and it was captioned, that's your dad, you have to speak to him. And then she showed the meme where the guy was walking past the girl, ignoring them. And then you got LaOnya in the comments talking about period with a laughing emoji, promoting her not speaking to her dad. And then when people start jumping on her in the comments, that's when she want to delete the comment. Because people like, how you promote her not talking to her daddy? You too grown for this. They was going in to where she deleted her comment. But it was too late because too many people hadn't got it at that point. That's not cool. And then you got foot meat over here. Girl, you need to have several mother effing seats because who are you to judge any parent when you can't even keep a roof over you and your kids' head? And this is no shade to no mother who's getting it out the mud because guess what? Everybody falls on hard times where they might need a little extra help at some point in time, especially when they have a lot of kids because you never know when life gonna be life, right? But when it comes to this mother, she didn't turn begging into a profession, baby. She was just in one of my supporters' inbox the other day asking for $20 gas until she get her first check, and she don't know this one from Adam and Eve. But you got the nerve to get on your platform and post constant memes as if you can judge anybody. Because I guarantee you that daughter will be in better hands with her daddy with that structure and discipline than with you any day. Because if I can recall a few days after, not a few days, child, a few months after she left out of her dad's custody, she got pregnant. So you need to set all the way down, ma'am. You cannot critique or judge anybody when it comes to parenting because you also, little Miss Five Baby Daddy Six cheering, you went got pregnant for a baby daddy that already showed you he was a DB and you gave him another child. Talk about bad judgment, little Miss Desperate Boots, because you got to be real desperate for a ninja to show you who they are, for you to double back and spin the block and give him another seed. Girl, you shouldn't be judging nobody. Got the nerve to post stuff talking about, I'm sorry I picked the wrong baby daddies for my children. You the wrong baby mama. What you mean? Little Miss Bitter Boots, you ain't helping nobody. You got the world taking care of your kids. And that's why she didn't put that sixth pregnancy on the internet because she knew she was wrong. Because she knew people was going to judge her based off of going get impregnated by a baby daddy that was already a DB. Make it make sense. Who are you? If that's the case, you just as bad as the baby daddy. The only difference is you got the kids in your custody. But I didn't say this before. Just because you have custody of your kids, it does not mean you are a good mother. It takes way more to be a good mother than just having custody of your kids. Because guess what? If I can recall, y'all remember that young lady who had her kids standing at looked like a trap house? Looked like it was vacated by rats and roaches. And she was living a whole nother life with her man and another child or two. This was all over social media. She had custody of her kids. Was she a good mother? While them children was in those kind of conditions living and was living like that for years. And that's what I mean by just because you have custody of your kids, it does not mean you are a good mother. Hold on, y'all. I think Ham back from church. Let me go open the door. Never mind, my son went check for me. Somebody knocking, it's probably Ham. Oh, y'all. Like, I cannot stand that. Like, girl, if you don't go sit all the way down, who are you? If we could recall, you drag your daughter, and this is her words, allegedly, through text message, let's say that, receipts were put out where you abused your daughter while she was pregnant and put her out. Where she had to stay with her little YT friend and her parents. Grab your basket, too. Look your basket. Yeah, grab that one. You done changed already? You had fun at church? Okay. Go ahead, mommy online. I'm gonna drop y'all in a little bit, okay? What was I saying? Ham did this. Yes, you did. Close my door. Don't slam it. Like, make it make sense. You shouldn't be talking about nobody. Close the door, Tootie. You don't have no room. You don't have no room, ma'am. Because guess what? Whether a father is in a child's life or not, it is still your job to keep a roof over your kid's head. That's the bare minimum. And you can't even do that. But you got the nerve to want to talk, child, if you don't go sit down. And that's not excusing the fathers, because you know people like to take stuff and run with it, take it out of context. That's not saying that a father shouldn't do his job, but that's saying that with or whether the child is with you or not, and that goes for the mother, you still supposed to have a home, whether you have kids or not. Wouldn't you want to be in a home? Shouldn't you be in a home? Got the nerve to say I apologize to my kids for picking the wrong baby daddy. Guess what? It gives that you're the problem. Because how you pick the wrong baby daddy 5 times? How? I don't listen. I don't understand. I can get one of a mistake here, a mistake there, but baby, you spun the block on the wrong baby daddy. But got the nerve to be on the internet like you innocent. Girl, if you don't go sit down, you are nobody's good example at all. And this is why I get on RH a little bit, because I blame you for picking these baby mamas. Ain't no way you picked the same baby mama twice. And now look what they doing. Child, I don't know who worse at this point. And Foot Meat then came out here and told so many lies, it don't make no sense. Like, girl, you need to go sit all the way down. Because as soon as you get in your feelings, you say the most vile, disgusting things. You say stuff that can literally get a man behind bars. Out here calling Rex a PDF file, but you slept with him while you was pregnant for your last baby. and got the nerve to share a post talking about if you fool with a PDF file, I'ma assume you're one. Well, is it safe to say you won? Because you calling this man that, but you also got on the internet when you thought you was flexing on his new girlfriend and told the world that he was the one who pushed you, and not physically, because y'all was having sexual relations while you were pregnant this last time. You said that during the sexual relations, you went into labor and you was pregnant for a whole nother baby dad. That came out of your mouth. That I don't. This is the part I don't understand about these people. They put all of their vile business on the internet, then get mad at people for discussing it. Baby, when it's controversial, guess what? People love drama. People love toxicity, and people love controversy. And y'all scream that with y'all business, with y'all back country town business, just country for no reason. But got the nerve, child. Listen, um, uh, you in strangers' inbox asking for gas money to get to work, but you got the nerve to come on here and try to judge, child. Listen, who y'all? I just don't understand it. Like, girl, if you don't go sit all the way down, foot meat, see error, y'all can't. Y'all can't tell. Listen, child, just as slow as the day is long. Ain't got the nerve. You know what? I ain't gonna say that. Don't do it, Pop. Dawn gonna eat her up though, cause I seen Dawn live from yesterday. She let her keep playing. Got the nerve to call Dawn ugly. You talking about you show is a girl, girl, girl. Like child. Listen, it's the audacity for me. I don't get it. You should be teaching at the end of the day, here's the thing. Everybody, well, I ain't gonna say everybody, but a lot of people have issues with the opposing parent, with the other parent, right? But some stuff does not belong on the internet. And when you are the type of mother that keep your kids and you and the other parents' business, you don't realize that that messes with that child mentally. You can alter how a child feels about the other parent. Even though I feel like sometimes that's what y'all be want. That's what they be wanting to do, y'all. They want the child to view the other parent like they view them. They don't know how to separate their relationship from parenthood because their relationship didn't work out. Let me mess up with my child, any relationship that my child could potentially have with their father. And that's not cool because kids need both parents. If you chose that parent to procreate with, then guess what? Don't try to mess up the child's viewpoint after y'all relationship didn't work out because you still chose to make a baby with that person. So deal with it. Deal with it. And this is why I always say, I can't hear. You're going to have to go out and come back in, Michaela. This is why I always say, be careful who you decide to have a child with. And even, especially when you're not financially prepared, because kids are investments. Unless you're one of those people who depend on, welfare and this and that, kids are investments. You have to prepare them for the future and all of that. College, all of that. So be careful, and you got to keep that mind frame when you dealing with a man. You have, especially when you're not married, know that that man can walk out any given day, and you're gonna be stuck with that child. Because guess what? Child support ain't always an option. Because there are some men out here that will disappear, that will literally do work for cash so they don't have to pay child support. And guess who's stuck with that baby? You. So remember that when you in the heat of the moment. But also, what makes it worse is, and this is why I don't have no respect for foot meat, right? Because this is the same person that came out here and said, y'all, when I tell y'all so many people then got this girl on audios, it's so many receipts of foot meat out here running her gun, being inconsistent. I have audios of her saying that RH was a dang good father until, and not even until, she said that things changed, the relationship changed when Laonia came into the picture. So for you to be out here trying to run this narrative as if this man is a DB when y'all child dang near grown at this point, dang near grown. He did his part. And I'm not saying he shouldn't do for his child now, but I'd be damned if I do for a child that's out to get me. You done lost your mind. You are very well aware that your actions on the internet can affect my livelihood, and you know that my livelihood is on the internet, but you coming out here giving people a reason to block my livelihood, and you think you're gonna get some money from me? Listen, I'm like Yams. I'm making my child out of an example, and you're gonna be dealing with a lawsuit. Okay? You're gonna be dealing with a lawsuit. Unless you can prove everything you said, baby, we're gonna be going to court, and I'm gonna let you know I still love you, but you need to be made an example out of. Ain't nothing wrong with suing your child, especially when your child is being malicious and vindictive. Okay? Oh, I'm not bashing my dad, but I'm just saying he abused me. Hold on, y'all. Oh, I'm not bashing my dad, but let me just get on here and say all of these different things that don't align with the first time I came out and said. Oh, I'm not bashing my dad, but let me keep saying that I hope this is not done to Momo, and I hope it's better for Momo. Child, what? You can only, here's the you only have one account of one whipping. But you got the nerve to be pleading and saying, oh, I hope it don't happen to my younger sister, and I hope he's better for my younger sister. Make that make sense. Somebody please help me make that make sense. Because from what we can see, Momo be having a time of her life. She don't even be wanting to go home. It done been videos where she didn't even want to go home. Don't do that. Don't speak for her. No, I said the white chocolate, but that's good. That's good. I'll keep it. Yeah, go ahead. Cam already got hers. Momo be having the time of her life. Don't speak for her. Don't speak for your little sister because you had one bad experience with your dad that most people would think what you forgave him for because you didn't have no problem going shopping. King, close my door, King, and don't slam it. You had no problem going shopping back in December for you and baby girl. You had no problem going eat. You had no problem taking driving lessons, going visit Great Papa. Like, I don't understand it. It's no problem when a phone bill need to be paid and we asking for cash out because our mom can't put our phone back on. It's no problem then. That's the part that's mind boggling. Because when I had my gripe with my daddy, I didn't want nothing from him. I didn't even want to talk to him. It was no communication at all until we got to a point where healing was needed, right? That's where it's given vindictive and it's given a plot. Because when we see happy moments on the internet, it's crazy because it's like If you still holding resentment towards your dad, then that should be expressed to him. So I know he probably feeling like this came out of left field, especially seeing as how they didn't seen each other afterwards. They didn't been around each other. And this how you do me? If you felt that way, you could have said it. And that's what people should be pushing. Shout out to Brother Pratt, because he said a word on his community wall. Grown women promoting and enabling a child disrespecting her dad and having, issues with her dad, instead of promoting uh promoting therapy and promoting them coming together and finding ways to mend their relationship. Especially if you had your dad in your life, you know how vital and important it is to have a father when it comes to a daughter, because a father is always a girl's first love. Make it make sense. When you got little girls out here that's literally being emmed by their fathers and being violated, like, girl, y'all, I'm so aggravated with this situation, because it could have been something really, really, really bad. But you out here, it's not like she came out here and gave a story time with her daddy, been abusing her over and over and over and over and over and over. You caught one ASS whipping, child. And I had a few people in my comments that's like, Pop, because everybody not gonna be in agreement, and that's cool. That's what we here for. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. It's some people who do practice gentle parenting, right? And I'm not against that, because I don't. To be honest, I don't discipline my kids. When they was younger, they got spanked. They got spanked when they was younger. But I have good kids, so I don't have to, they don't give me no problem. Now I'm gonna fuss all day long. You best believe. But my kids don't give me no issues like that. But it's just the fact that it's like I just don't understand it. Like, gentle parent, right? Gentle parent. But and you have a lot of people that saying, well, you don't need to do this and you don't need to do that. Da, 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 da. Wait, hold on. Okay. But back in the day, that's not how things ran. It wasn't operating. And I think that's why you didn't have these type of issues back in the day, because discipline was used. Back in the day, we didn't have electronics that could be taken away as an alternative punishment, right? You got your ASS torn up, and then you know what to do and what not to do. That's how it was ran back in the day. See, now times have evolved. So it's easier to take a PlayStation, take a cell phone, a laptop, an iPad. It's easy to take that because that's what kids are into. Back in the day, it wasn't like that. Y'all got to know that. Yes, some people feel like disciplining your child with a belt or whatever is a bruise. That's how they made it seem now. But back in the day, I'm happy for it. And if that's the issue, oh well, because it made me the person, it kept me out of trouble. It made me think about my movements before I made them. Is this a good thing to do or a bad thing? Should I be doing this or should I not? I know right from wrong. And people want to argue gentle parenting versus what happened back in the day, but guess what? The jails wasn't flooded with juveniles when I was growing up, but it is now. We can also argue these police officers that's unaliving our children, while y'all fussing in the comments about parents disciplining their kids with a belt. Either you gonna teach them at home or them cops gonna teach them on the street. And then when they teach them, it's something you can't come back from. You ain't gonna see them again. So we can argue that all day long. And like I said, I don't have a problem with gentle parenting. because that's how they're moving nowadays. But back in the day, it was a different time. It was a different time. Times have evolved to where you can take electronics, and because that's what's more important to kids anyway. You can take them and they gonna get their mind right because they want their phone, they want their laptops, they want their PlayStations and their Xbox. So you can take that as a alternative punishment. But they didn't have that back in the day. We didn't have that. So guess what? You got taught out and you got your mind right. That's it. And you can't take away from people's experience when they had that because everybody don't think the same. Some people are grateful for that discipline because it shaped them into who they are today. And that's why I ain't arguing with y'all because if you for gentle parenting, that's what you for. I would never argue with you about that. But don't try to take away other people's experiences either, because, like I said, that's why the streets now are the jails are loaded with juveniles, more juveniles than adults, if you ask me, and teen moms. Period. You show me some gentle parenting that's preventing that. What you doing in that moment if you trying to discipline your child and they start fighting you back? What you doing? You calling the cops? Your child starts swinging on you like they're an adult while you fussing at them. What you doing, gentle parent? We calling 911? Okay. Child, listen. What to? Yeah, look on my tub. I got some right there because Carrie needs the other day too. What you need? Oh, I know. Never mind. Madison still here? Okay. Gentle parenting is look on my tub. At the end of my tub. Gentle parenting is the reason why this generation is so messed up. Parents are afraid of their children. Teachers are quitting because of disrespect. Oh, listen, clock it. Disrespectful children and parents who think it's okay. Lady J, you better clock that motherfucking T, okay? Because listen, I know that too would be a fact in my area. When I tell y'all we have a high school out here where they barely have teachers because these kids are so disruptive. The teachers scared of the students because you got the parents coming to school ready to fight the teachers because the teachers getting on their child ASS. See, back in the day, the teachers could discipline the child. They had the paddle. Not, and I'm not saying it's okay because I was one of those parents. What? Why are you giving this to me, girl? Okay. Um, here, Ham, throw this away. Throw it in the trash. What was I saying? Ham keep disrupting me. I mean, interrupting me. Um, yeah. Back in the day, well, let me say this because my parents was the type they didn't allow. You know how when you was in school you had to sign for your kids to be disciplined at school with the paddle? My parents never signed for that. If you have an issue with my child, call me. They wasn't with it. Now, when my mom and them was in school, they parents signed for it. Listen, they didn't mind the principal tat 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 tat. Okay, but my mom and them didn't go for that. If you have an issue, call me. And we were so scared of my daddy, they would never have to call. So you ain't gotta call anyways, because we gonna behave, baby. We're gonna behave because we know what's gonna happen when we get home. So it's just like, child, when you think about people bringing up gentle parent, like I said, I have no issue with that because I don't whip my kids either. But they know not to play with me too. They know not to play with me. They know not to play with me. I don't have to discipline them, as far as with a belt or whatever. But when you really think on it and you think about everything that goes on now and you think about the differences and everything that's going on, it's like it's crazy because you got, like we said, you got teachers that scared. They quitting because it's not even enough money to compensate for what they gotta endure. You say, hey, Miss Arlene, hey, Taquita, hey, Tiara, Empress. Shout out to y'all. Happy 420 for the smokers. You say, hi, Lupac, and your members and guests. I am so very disappointed in her to get on here and talk about her dad. One she have to look up to in times of need is exactly. And Dawn said yesterday, I sure hope, and this is Dawn's words verbatim, I sure hope you don't ever need me again when it comes to money. And I don't blame her because it's a slap in the face for a child to constantly message you about money and then come on the internet with something like this. You know this is your father's livelihood. So to get on here and say you're not bashing him and you love him, but you could have had a conversation with him instead of the internet because you ain't scared of him, because if you was, you wouldn't have linked up with him back in December. If you was afraid of your dad, you wouldn't have went with him when y'all went shopping, when y'all went eat, when he was taking you driving. He took you to Great Papa House. So you ain't scared of him. So a conversation definitely could have been had. And if you feel like he's not there, because you know it's some fathers are different than mothers. We got like, and this is why I don't like how this internet stuff go, because people are being illogical. Y'all know that it ain't too many fathers who gonna sit there and listen. You know, most girls are comfortable with expressing things to their mom. And I don't need people in the comments saying, no, Pac, I was expressing to my dad. I'm not saying you did, because that's how people do, y'all. Like they will literally not understand you on purpose. That's why I have to constantly give context to what I say. I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying it's that most girls express certain things to their dad because, I mean, to their mom, because it's, we women. We can relate. So it's going to be a little different with that when it comes to emotions and feelings and stuff like that. And if you feel like you can't talk to your dad, then you express it to him, tell him how you feel in that moment, and then give him some time. Give him some time to get to where you at. Don't come to the internet. How can you come into the internet help y'all situation? Because it's viewed as betrayal. How can y'all ever heal from that situation if you keep coming to the internet? Or constantly giving trolls stuff in the comments to use against your dad. Oh, we didn't seen it. There's plenty of things that people could have spoke on, but did not have respect for RH. But at this point, it's like, all right, now you're doing a little too much. You're doing a little too much, baby. Trolls will literally go in her comments and ask her stuff or say stuff about her dad, and she will literally reply to it. She ain't gonna ignore it like she do with her mama. When they say stuff about her mama, baby, she gonna jump on them, or she gonna ignore it. But when it come to daddy, oh, we with it all. We gonna help them take him down. The same person that we need at the end of the day, we gonna help, because she knows she can't get no money from her mama while they on here playing. Because if she could, she wouldn't need Auntie Dawn to pay her cell phone bill, or constantly asking Auntie Dawn for money, knowing it's gonna come from her dad. She ain't crazy. That little girl ain't crazy. She got a lot of sense. She got a whole lot of sense. Like, make it make sense. That's the part I don't understand. Like, child, protect mama from everything, but we gonna throw daddy to the wolves. Both parents need to be respected. Like I said in the beginning, they got way more kids out here, daughters, that look at Kamani Latig, y'all. Look at the Nazaya situation and so many more. But you out here crying about your daddy disciplining you one time and talk and trying to speak up for your little sister. Let her have her if she have an experience with her daddy, that's her story to tell if it ever comes to that. Whew, I just don't get it. Like, I'm not understanding. It's the convenience for me. It's the plots, it's the narratives, it's the, ooh, that was real convenient. The timing. Look at the timing. That's why people questioning it. Yeah, everybody, if you feel like you got a story to tell, if you feel like you got a truth to tell, y'all, I will never understand why people do stuff like this on the internet. Period. Period. Because we've all seen how people are literally regretful of bringing their business to the internet. You got people trying to get TPOs on bloggers, trying to sue bloggers for speaking on what they put out, but it's constant behavior. I just don't understand it. This is sad. It's real sad. And I can only imagine how RH feels. Because this is his child. This was his first child. First child. And this is what you do to your daddy? Child, listen. Listen. This is why, you know what? And me and one of my homegirls, we had a conversation about this the other day, y'all. Where we was speaking on how um when two people come together, procreate, and they from two different walks of life, where you got one that's a disciplinarian, they got their head on straight, they got their finances on straight, and then you got one who's a bum, who's ghetto, ratchet, who lie like a rug, and then y'all have a child together, and y'all not together. When a child is being raised in two different environments like that, where they got one where it's structure and they can't get away with anything, and then you got one where it's no structure and you can literally get away with anything, that messes up a child mentally. And this is a prime example. Prime example. The reason why she feel like she can get on the internet and disrespect her dad or say certain things to her dad is because her mom does it. And she don't correct her when she do it. Footmeat ain't the type of mama that says respect your daddy regardless of how you feel, because that's still your dad. God blesses the child who respect the parent. Ain't no good gonna come from this. And they wonder why they got bad luck now. Because if we really keeping it a buck, if you look at DW's circumstances now and her living a environment or whatever, this ain't RH fault. Because y'all know they try to blame him for her getting pregnant and all. She wasn't in his care when she got pregnant. You can't fault him for that. You can't fault him for disciplining her and then also fault him for her getting pregnant. You gotta pick a side and stay there. You have to pick a side. How you mad at me for correcting my child, but then you mad at me still for my child getting pregnant? Make it make sense. I don't understand it. I wish my child would. You better not never need me again. You best not never need me again. Especially when you're trying to destroy the very same livelihood that you need. Y'all keep telling him, take care of your oldest, take care of your oldest and your grandbaby. But the oldest is literally contributing to y'all destroying her father. You can't tell me you thought something good was going to come out of that. I'm not trying to bash my dad. I love my dad. What? You didn't love him enough to call him and have a conversation? Child. And the mama condoning it? Girl, RH is your best baby daddy. Ain't no man perfect. We all wish the fathers of our children, could do a little better here and there. They'll never be like us, but when it comes to the kids, but guess what? It could be worse. I guarantee you that. You don't get to come on here and let us know that this man has always been in his child's life and was a great father. He was the apple of her eye and she was the apple of his eye, and then double back and try to say this man is a DB now because he don't do what you want him to do. He don't owe you nothing. Y'all child dang near grown. Y'all got a grandbaby now together. The baby daddies that you need to have your foot on their neck, you don't. You a DB in my eyes. Why you out here trying to call these men DB? You can't even keep your life together. And that's your job, ma'am. A father is supposed to help take care of their kids. But if you maintain it, if you have the custody of those kids, it's your job to keep a roof over their head. And that's something you can't seem to do for almost 2 years now. Make it make sense. So is the men's fault that you can't keep a home? Because if I could recall, she could have been went back to work, but she didn't go back to work because she decided to get pregnant for a sixth time for spinning the block on one of the DB baby daddies. That's where you hold yourself accountable, ma'am. You ain't talking about him though. You gave that man 2 kids when he had already showed you who he was, and you spun the block. Girl, bye. Listen, I don't even know how you can even get WET for a broke ninja. Especially one who already show you he don't care about the other child. You gonna give him another one? Girl, listen. Child, that speaks to your character. I wish a ninja would play in my face like that. That speaks to her character as a mother. You are no good role model, ma'am. I don't care what nobody say. And everybody inbox begging and this and that. But you got the nerve to come on here and try to call somebody a DB or a bad parent. Are you serious? Your kids gonna see this one day too. They gonna see how you behaved on the internet. Going back and forth. Your little boy gonna see how you was on the internet calling his daddy a pedophile. But you had no issues with dealing with that pedophile actually while you was pregnant for that sick baby that ain't even his. Little miss, he pushed me into early labor. You ain't had no issues with that. You ain't had no issues with coming back to the internet saying, I only said he was a pedophile because I was upset. And it was false / not true. Baby, you dangerous. I would never trust your word. If you could come on the internet and call a man a pedophile and then double back and come back and apologize and said, I said it because I was upset. Talking about, y'all know how we get when we are upset. We say things we don't mean. Girl, no, ma'am. I don't do that. I might say you dusty or crusty, but I ain't gonna call you a pedophile because I'm mad. You are psycho. Ain't no y'all. It's no way. Thank you. Hey Tajay sister. Thank you for putting my link. I just don't understand it. It's no, you can't tell me that somebody that will come on the internet, the world wide web, and say something about one of their baby daddies like that when they just because they mad is mentally stable. And that's something your child, I remember being on one of her lives listening because of content purposes, and she was saying, calling that man a pedophile and saying all these vile things about him while the son was right there. And he started jumping in the conversation. He ain't number what, 6 or 7? He started jumping in the conversation talking about his daddy with her. I said, child, you cannot make this up. Ain't no way. When it's an adult conversation, my kids gotta get out the room. Whether it's about their daddy or not. Get out the room. This ain't for you. You let kids get their own experience of the other parent. Because guess what? If they're a bad parent, if they're a bad person, then guess what? Oh, especially, let me say this, not if they are an abusive parent or, actually abusive or anything like that. I'm talking about they could have been a bad person in the relationship, whatever, or just a DB. We ain't talking about all that other vile stuff. But you let them get their own experience, because if they are a bad parent, guess what? It's gonna show. And that child gonna feel it when they grow up. But you don't help the situation because you mad because the relationship didn't work out. That's not cool. Don't help it. Allow what happens to happen. So when that child gets older, they can say, my mama was a good mama. She ain't had nothing to do. My daddy showed me on his own. Because I remember them days my mama let me call and he didn't answer. And not that my mama didn't let, because it's a difference between allowing a child to call the other parent and they don't pick up, then you telling your child no and not even giving it a chance. It's a big difference. Because now that child can't say nothing. They can't say, oh, my mom stopped me from seeing my daddy. Because a lot of times these men like to use that excuse, oh, your mom stopped. No, 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 no. You ain't using that over here. Because I called. You didn't pick up. That's what you do. That's how you move. Don't be bitter. Don't be a bitter parent because the relationship didn't work out. That's what I'm saying. Because those two things are totally different. Because they could be a bad partner, relationship be wise, but be a great parent. And that's why I say be mindful when you bring kids into the situation. Be mindful. Because all relationships don't work out. They don't last. Some do, some don't. But you have to be prepared, especially when you bring children into it. Gotta be prepared. Hey, blessed beyond measures. I agree somewhat because at the end of the day, I don't feel like people are getting distracted. That's why y'all can see he's still on my thumbnail. Because at the end of the day, he is the topic. But this situation is still wrong. What I feel like is a distraction is the content creator beat. Now that's a distraction. But long as it's within the saga situation, everybody good. Just ignore that outside noise as far as beefing with other CCs, because no, that's not healthy. Ain't nobody here for that. Like, keep it on the content, period. Regardless of, Janostrals, his situation is there. But DW is wrong, period, and so is her mom. And the women condoning it. Ain't nothing wrong with speaking on it and then getting back on, Booger Boy, Booger Gates. Because it's still content, y'all. But I just don't understand these people. Maybe I never will. Because you'll never see me come to the internet with my personal business. Never have, never will. Never have, never will. Because I done said this before, you open a door for unwarranted and unwanted opinions. And you can't stop it once you put it on the internet. Regardless if you delete it or not, it's still there. Somebody didn't screen record it. Period. Somebody got it. That too, blessed beyond measures. Yep. That too, but you better make sure them same people that you performing for or can be there for you after this is all said and done. Because at the end of the day, your daddy gonna always be your daddy. You can't depend on these internet people for your first vehicle. You can't depend on them for things that you're going to need later on in life that only your dad can provide. And you damn sure can't depend on your mama because she can't even keep a roof. But the one who could possibly help you is the one you go against. Child, listen. That's the crazy part. The one that could possibly help you is the one that you go against. Laonya ain't helping you. She cut you off for Janastro. Y'all don't remember whenever her and Dawn was talking and she was saying something about in those messages, in them text messages about this situation. And Laonya was telling Dawn she can't go get DW when Foot Meat was ready to put her out or had been put out while she was pregnant. I can't go get her because it's gonna affect my relationship because he's already wondering why I'm still in contact with RH's daughter and da 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 da. It went from I will always be Mama Bree to oh no, now I'm just Laonya. Well, her full name, y'all know what I mean. But child, used her up, manipulated her, used her up, and threw her to the wolves once this new ninja, really, really came into play. That's some crazy work. And the fact that Foot Meat seen it after the fact is even crazier. You recognize that you and your child was being used, but you was a dummy for allowing it in the first place. I would never let another woman use my child to go against her daddy. Is you crazy? That shows what kind of parent you are. As if y'all ain't gonna need this same man later on. You allow your child to be used as a pawn on the internet for a few extra dollars. You just as bad as her. Now y'all don't get along. Because here's the thing. One thing about God, baby, he gonna make it all he gonna make it all crumble, all unfold. Can't no good come from when you don't have the right intentions, when you making connections, it's no good that comes from that. When your connections are built off of deceptiveness, it's no good that comes from that. Or the dislike of another person. Oh, we both having issues with baby daddy, so let's team up, knowing we really don't like each other. That's why that didn't last. That's why them two stayed beefing. One minute they was cool, the next minute they was beefing. One minute they was cool, the next minute they was beefing. That's why. Because their connection wasn't built off of genuity. Y'all was never cool. Y'all didn't like each other the whole time she was married to RH. But the minute they separate and she need co-signers and people to validate her storyline and Me Too movements, now we buddy buddy. Now we don't have no issues. Child by. Foot Meat got exactly what she deserved. You allowed this girl to use your child to go against her daddy, and then look what happened. She got cut off after she was used up. And so did you. As if we didn't see all the and then she put it out there how you was constantly asking her to help pay your bills. I got receipts right now where you getting your child to ask her for rent money. My mom is about to get kicked out. She been crying all day. I have that receipt right now. And the crazy part is RH said it. He came out here and said how she was using her to pay the bill. That's why they was teaming up. He said it. Because when he cut off while they was married, he was still using. I mean, she was still using Laonya to pay certain bills. RH knew it. And he tried to tell everybody. It wasn't until those receipts started coming out here and people started seeing what was really going on. Because ain't no way I'm going to be over here paying no rent or none of that for my man, baby mama. You done lost your mind, especially when you allowing ninjas See, to be all up and through there. Because you even went and got pregnant. It don't make sense, but y'all know what I mean. You went and double back, spun the block on an old baby daddy who already showed you who he was, and you allow him to impregnate you again, but you need somebody else to pay your rent. Child, you got the world backwards. You got the game all the way effed up. So he can give you a baby but not rent money, phone bill money, light bill money, groceries. At least if you going FUCK, at least FUCK for something financial, not just for a baby. Anybody can give you a baby. Oh Lord, that's how you know she's slow. That's how you know she's slow, y'all. Cause ain't no way, ain't no way, baby. And yet those dummies are helping her. Child, you know what? It's not gonna last, y'all. It ain't. They gonna help her as long as she going against her daddy. The minute she stopped going against her daddy and wants to reconnect with her dad, they go against her too. And that's the most disheartening and sad part of it all. The fact that she don't see the play. Or maybe you do and you just don't like your daddy. But at least have enough respect for him to not make the situation worse. At least do that. Hold on, y'all. Let me answer my phone real quick. My bad, y'all. Yep. Like I just don't get it. I don't understand it. Like this is sad. It's real sad, but I feel like God makes no mistakes. Everything happens for a reason. And you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. And the fact that some people don't realize karma is coming. And it's a lot of people that's gonna get caught in that karma storm. It's a lot of people that's gonna get caught in it based off of how you're doing other people, especially when it's malicious, vindictive, deceptive, all of those things. It's coming. Just be prepared. Be prepared for your portion. And don't question it, especially when you doing wrong. Like make it make sense. It's gonna be good though, y'all. But anyways, y'all, let me get up off of here. I gotta finish packing because like I said, we are leaving today. We're leaving in a little while, in a couple hours, for my big boy's birthday trip. Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for being tuned in, rocking out with your girl on this good old Easter Sunday. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of y'all Easter. Y'all will not see me for about till the end of the week when we come back because I will not be going live while I'm on vacation. Child, this is the internet. I put everything before the internet, as you already know. So I ain't one of them. I will not be coming on live to address anything while I'm on vacation. I don't do that now. Damn sure ain't doing it while I'm out of the state. But anyways, I will try to put a video out, y'all. That's why I'm getting off a little earlier so I can finish that video, so I can put that out also for you guys. Hopefully I can put another one out. A little small one if warranted, if I can, while I'm on vacation, so I don't fall too far behind with the algorithm and the content. But I love y'all, and I will see you guys at the end of the week. I'll definitely be posting on the community wall, so y'all gonna see that. But I'll see you guys next weekend. Love y'all. Bye, y'all.
That goes by. People always ask me why black holes. Listen up, baby girl, shit, I'm about to let you know why I always got a black holes. Whoa. They talking shit up in my comments. Yeah, they don't know, but I'm about to block them. Cause every day, I block hoes. They be being shady, yeah. Whoa. Cause you know I block hoes, baby. In different area codes, baby. You never know, but I block